Hundreds of thousands of takeoffs and landings are carried out in the world every day. Millions of passengers set off on journeys and business trips. Modern technology has turned man's aspirations to fly into a reality and has made even the most remote corners of the planet accessible. And now we are helping people to fly. Gazpromneft is one of the largest oil companies in Russia, with proven hydrocarbon reserves of over 1 billion tons of oil equivalent. Gazpromneft refines over 80% of its crude at its own refining facilities in Omsk, Moscow and Yaroslavl. Gazpromneft refineries annually produce over 2 million tons of aviation kerosene. Gazpromneft's strategic goal is to change over to production of fuel with high ecological characteristics, to increase yield from crude to 90 to 95% and double production of aviation fuel at the company's refineries by 2020. Gazpromneft-Aero is the absolute leader in aviation fuel retail in Russia. The company accounts for over 20% of the Russian market, annually selling about 2 million tons of aviation fuel to airlines. Gazpromneft-Aero successfully ensures timely fuel supplies to 40 airports in Russia, from Vladivostok to Kaliningrad. The geographic location of Gazpromneft's refineries allow the company to develop its aviation fuel sales network on the most important transit routes, such as the Moscow Aviation Hub, airports in Siberia and Central Asia where Trans-Siberian and Trans-Asian air corridors are concentrated, and also on promising transpolar transport routes from North America to Asia. Gazpromneft-Aero has over 30 of its own fueling complexes at large airports in Russia. The company ensures a high level of flight safety for its partners. Our main priority is the safety of passengers and freight. We are actively introducing modern technologies in all areas of aviation fuel supply. This allows us to control the quality of fuel throughout the production process, from receipt at the refinery to fueling of the plane, in compliance with national and international standards. Our investment in modernizing and developing our aviation fueling infrastructure at Russian airports already amounts to over $200 million. Gazpromneft-Aero is also one of the first companies in Russia to insure against the risks of possible compensation to third parties and the environment worldwide. High-tech control systems for the receipt, storage and supply of oil products have been introduced at Gazpromneft-Aero's fueling complexes. Gazpromneft's daily supplies of aviation fuel from its refineries are carried out by rail transport or through oil product pipelines. Aviation fuel is supplied to storage tanks through a system that controls the quantity and quality of the oil products. This system allows the operator to remotely control the mass, temperature and density of the aviation fuel online. This is where preliminary filtration of oil products from mechanical admixtures also takes place. Fuel is pumped and stored with the help of an automatic control system. Tanks and process pipelines have been fitted with special sensors that give the operator information about oil product movement. Modern modular filtration systems finally purify the aviation fuel so that it meets international standards. Before being pumped into the aircraft, fuel undergoes lab tests on 11 quality indicators. The quality checks on the aviation fuel and special aviation liquids are performed at the company's own high-tech fuel and lubricant laboratories. In its work, Gazpromneft-Aero is guided by international standards. Since 2008, the company is a strategic partner of the International Air Transport Association, IATA. IATA organises annual training sessions unique to Eastern Europe at the Gazpromneft-Aero fueling complex in Novosibirsk, where employees from all over the world study international aviation fuel supply standards and practices. Over the past 3 years, experts from 20 airlines and fueling complexes in various countries have taken part in these trainings.
The relation is a good one, because we see there's a willingness from Gazpromneft-Aero to let us do a training there, because we are still guests on your facility, so we are happy to have the chance to go to see facility which is well equipped, because it's according close to our standard.
Using its own and international experience, Gazpromneft-Aero is participating in developing the aviation industry and the creation of new standards for aviation fuel infrastructure in Russia. In 2011, Gazpromneft-Aero opened a training center for aviation fuel supply specialists based at Ulyanovsk Higher Institute of Civil Aviation. To date, specialists from 14 Russian regions have undergone training here. An agreement to support scientific research work within the Institute for the Aviation Fuel Industry was signed at an annual forum in Ulyanovsk in 2012. Gazpromneft-Aero has been selected as the single supplier of aviation fuel and the operator of 23 Ministry of Defence aerodromes. Thus, new standards for refueling military aircraft are currently being introduced with Gazpromneft-Aero's participation. As part of its strategic partnership with the Air Force, the company has invested over $35 million in modernising aviation fueling infrastructure. The latest equipment is being bought, modern fuel quality complexes are being built, and the quality and safety of plane refueling is being seriously improved. Gazpromneft-Aero plans to build new, modern, technologically advanced fueling complexes for the needs of the Ministry of Defence. Along with developing its aviation fuel business in Russia, Gazpromneft-Aero is also creating favourable conditions for its partners when refueling abroad. In cooperation with direct suppliers of fuel in 40 countries, Gazpromneft-Aero provides refueling in more than 90 airports around the world.
One of the most important targets of our company is an ability to offer our international clients refueling in Russia according with their domestic strict standards. In Russia, we supply kerosene directly from our own refineries, what guarantees not only the best prices but also in-time refueling all year long. Refueling is done by our own fuel farms that are being regularly inspected by IATA. In accordance with our clients' needs, we sign 1-2 years fuel supply contracts with plant-based formula prices. To cover possible risks, we have a $500 million insurance issued by Lloyd's Company.
Gazpromneft-Aero puts maximum efforts to satisfy all requirements of its international clients in Russian airports. Gazpromneft-Aero's strategic goal is to become one of the leaders in the international aviation fuel business. The company's emphasis on the safety, reliability and quality of its services remains constant. Gazpromneft-Aero, the energy of your flight.